Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Welcome to Wrestle Hunks Weekly. I'm Brody Price, and as always, I'm joined by the always exuberant Nathan Marlowe.
How are we?
Good, mate. Good. What's going on?
Yeah, nothing much. There's probably nothing much the same as Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll get into all this week's sort of discussion points and talk about the build to Money in the Bank and whatnot. But we'll start with this brand new rule that Vince McMahon, the genius himself, has implemented. It's the Wildcard rule. I don't know if anyone hasn't heard of it. It's pretty much that 4 superstars per week can appear on Raw from SmackDown and vice versa. Superstars from Raw can go to SmackDown and all that. So this sort of led to us seeing Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston, and Daniel Bryan on Raw this week. And we also saw the Usos, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn on SmackDown. So this is pretty much Vince's response to the ratings pressure he's receiving from NBC, Universal, and Fox. Apparently, Vince didn't want to give up on the idea of separate brands, but WWE's been facing outside pressure from those two companies to bring the ratings up. Both companies want star power on their shows, and there's been a feeling that brands don't have enough star power individually. It was also noted on Fox that Fox wants Raw and SmackDown storylines to be on their SmackDown show when it goes to Friday nights in October. And NBCU was reportedly upset about the recent drop in ratings, especially for the third hour. And they were asking questions about the decline, specifically why they would give up a star like Roman Reigns to SmackDown. And there's been pressure from both companies to have talent work on both shows. What are your thoughts on that, Nat, hearing that it's sort of a lot of this pressure is coming from the networks to sort of do things like this with the wildcard rule?
If that is the case, I do understand, but as fans, it kind of makes it shit for us. It's hard to explain. I'd say it's just like, might as well just get rid of the brand split then. Like, it's very confusing to get invested as fans. And now they actually changed it on WWE.com. It actually says a limited number of superstars per night. Yeah. So there's no number on it. So I don't know.
Does anyone really think, though, that having Roman Reigns pop up every so often on Raw is going to change the ratings drastically, or?
Well, according to USA Network, it does. I mean, I'm sure maybe that's a draw for a lot of kids. I don't know. I don't think it makes all the world of a difference, but I guess if that's the pressure from the networks, I guess they kind of have to do it.
I mean, I have here, is there a way to please both the fans and the networks in this situation if you're WWE?
Well, if you're going to please the fans, it's going to be just get rid of the brand split. I think that's the way. Otherwise, we're just going to be like, why do we have a brand split?
It doesn't make sense that the wildcard rule is implemented if you're just going to have guys show up whenever. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the whole point of the brand split, I felt like, is to elevate guys that aren't going to get TV time if there isn't a brand split, you know? If it's just the same guys on Raw and SmackDown, like, there's not enough TV time for the lower card guys to get their push. So
yeah,
you look at SmackDown at the moment, Aleister Black's sort of just doing vignettes because there's probably not enough time right now for him to get a match per week. So what happens if it's a brand split? Like, would he get vignettes at all? Like, things like that. So I'll ask if you were in Vince's shoes, what changes would you make to the TV product?
What changes would I make? Well, I think we were talking about this yesterday, right? Yeah. Well, shit. You asked me what would, since I don't watch Raw or SmackDown, I watch it through YouTube. And I feel like the show is not engaging enough for me to actually spend 2 to 3 hours watching the show. It's not worth my time when I know the outcome of every single match is just going to be boring, the old same old, same old. I don't need to tune in because it's just going to be the old same Raw. I was alluding to yesterday, there are no gimmick matches on Raw now. No interesting gimmick matches. And when they are, it seems that they've just given it to Braun Strowman and said, hey, kill this guy. Braun doesn't need that. Braun can just do that in squash matches. I feel like where's the... I don't know. It's greedy of me, but I want to see ladder matches. I want to see Eddie Guerrero versus Rob Van Dam in a Intercontinental title ladder match. I want to see tables match. I want to see random ass steel cages. Fucking, I don't know, Raw Roulette. I want to see shit like that. I want shit to be interesting, not just the week after week. It's the same old. And I feel like... maybe it's going towards a TV 14 kind of rating, but I feel like that's where they're going to have to go if they want things to change for the fans. I feel like getting a little bit edgier with your storylines and stipulations is going to be the way to go.
Yeah. Well, something else we sort of spoke about is that the pay-per-views are stacked with both rosters sort of being on both pay-per-views, and then instead of just stacking those pay-per-views, put the best of the best on those pay-per-views, and then have anything else should be played out through TV, and the payoff matches should be on TV as well, like you said, in those gimmick matches if need be. I mean, like Roman Reigns versus Elias is on the pay-per-view coming up. That could be paid off
on SmackDown.
Yeah. So
yeah. So more kind of like a takeover kind of idea. Not everyone gets on it. It's more illustrious.
Yeah, I mean that improves the pay-per-view. The quality of that goes up. The kickoff show, like if you get on the kickoff show, that's like a good deal as well. Like
that's good. Yeah, you get some time. Yeah,
and then that means like if you don't make it onto the pay-per-view, like your storyline will play out on TV. And I don't know. It just seems like they've sort of just putting everything into the pay-per-view, and like the build-up week to week is sort of just, I don't know. It's become very stale for a lot of viewers.
I just can't watch it anymore.
I've got here, like, would cutting Raw down from 3 hours to 2 help at all for you?
No, it doesn't. Or maybe, but you're gonna have to cut some talent. It's what you have to do. You're gonna have to cut a lot of talent down from your rosters.
If I'm WWE, like when this week on Raw, the first 2 segments were promos. Like, the first segment was Roman, Vince, Bryan, Kofi, and then the next segment was Vince, AJ, and Seth, which finally led to a match. But I don't know. You don't need those big. Like, you can have promos on TV. I know that, but you don't have to start the show with those promos. You don't have to have the Lucha House Party squash a random team for no reason. Like, I think Raw could be cut down to 2 hours. Then it's putting the best product on TV for 2 hours. And then, I don't know. I mean, it says there that the ratings sort of drop off for the third hour, so I just don't see why. Obviously, I mean, if I always thought the point of the third hour was because the USA Network wanted the ratings, because Raw brings in so many ratings, so they want 3 hours, so they get 3 hours of those ratings. But if it's dropping off, why not just cut it?
Yeah, it's true. Just they would need to gut their roster, I think. I don't know. It's not for us to decide though. They're not going to listen to us. Seems like we gave up our authority.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone go check out Nathan's Twitter for quality content. I don't know. So overall, like, what do we think about the wildcard rule? It is kind of stupid, isn't it?
It's stupid. Look, I'd be happy with them saying there's no like real brand split, but like, here's the shows, like kind of thing. Like Roman Reigns is on SmackDown, but like there's no real brand split. I don't know. So I feel like I'd be more comfortable with that.
So have like, if you're the Universal Champion, you're on Raw, but then like anyone can sort of challenge him. Like,
yeah, I feel like, but like say, Roman could go challenge Seth, but week to week, usually Roman can just be on SmackDown, but he can come to Raw. I don't know. Maybe they just should be like, there's no labels except for the championships.
Yeah. So a championship makes you sort of
brand exclusive. Yeah.
And so AJ might want to challenge Kofi, so he goes to SmackDown and starts that feud.
I feel like if they think Roman's the top guy that they want him in both shows, well, I guess the easiest way is have him always chase belts, and because no one really liked it when he had the belt. I mean, I feel like him chasing the belt is probably better.
Yeah, that's definitely a point. It should be interesting. I still don't think we sort of spoke about this as well, that having the top guys show up on Raw. I mean, if the ratings are down for both shows, putting Kofi Kingston on Raw isn't going to be like, oh well, I'm going to watch Raw now, like because you're not watching SmackDown either. So
exactly,
it didn't make sense to me when I heard that, but it is what it is, and we'll see how they go. We've got the go home shows next week, which I wouldn't imagine be too groundbreaking,
too flashy. Yeah.
And then post Money in the Bank, hopefully they pick up steam and sort of improve the product. At some point.
Okay, next week, I would pay some good money for them to have. They should have Ricochet versus Bobby Roode in a Money in the Bank spot match.
Just in a ladder match or something like that? Or...
Yep, in a ladder match, and have a fucking contract dangling from the ceiling. Winner gets the spot. Have something like that. Fuck me. Just something different. I don't... Fuck your singles matches.
I mean, yeah. And they're not getting a lot of time in those single matches anyway, so... Plus,
exactly.
Kids are probably in the crowd. They don't give a shit if Ricochet wins a singles match. They want to see him do flips off ladders.
That's exactly right.
Alright, so we'll get into some other notes about Raw and SmackDown. We'll start with Raw. Vince forced AJ and Seth to team up to take on Bobby Lashley and Baron Corbin. This led to AJ accidentally taking out Seth, and Lashley and Corbin pick up the win. I feel like did you mention that they'd probably do this, like a random tag together in the build?
Shit, did I? I'm not sure. I think I did. I was like, actually I did. I said, Seth and AJ will team, and then, one will get angry at the other. It's fucking the same old shit.
It's the same shit because it's two baby faces. That's pretty much just the program that they have to have, I guess. But
exactly right. But we did get a good promo after the match, backstage. Did you see Baron Corbin's video? Him and Lashley were just jumping around backstage, going off that they won.
I can't remember watching that, but that's funny.
And Lashley was wearing a really shitty. He was wearing a red flex fit.
Jesus,
it's terrible.
So that's that the storyline that isn't really a storyline there. It doesn't mean I'm any less interested in this match. The match is going to be great, but this is just the same old two baby faces are in a world title match sort of storyline booking. So
yeah.
Braun Strowman threw Sami Zayn in a dumpster. So there's that. What are your thoughts on this?
Shit, it's terrible. Well, you haven't got it there either. So, Lucha House Party had a squash match during all of this. That happened. Do we have real thoughts on that match?
On the Lucha House Party one?
Yeah.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, and that's about it.
I think it's just stupid. But, is this going to lead to a feud between these two? If it is, Braun's going to win. Like, it's not realistic. Sammy's going to beat him. I don't know. Have a dumpster match. Have a fucking dumpster on fire match. I don't fucking care.
A dumpster match on Raw, like this. If they do feud, that's not pay-per-view worthy. We've seen them feud before, actually, when Sammy was the babyface. So I would personally not like to see that feud. But a dumpster match on Raw, I don't think they've had a dumpster match in a while, have they?
Not sure exactly. Maybe Sami Zayn, maybe on next week on Raw, he'll do what Braun did. Remember at TLC, and he came out of the garbage truck.
Oh my god, that was entertaining.
Maybe Sammy will do that, and then have a dumpster on fire match, and then they'll have a steel cage match, a 3 stages of hell match.
Oh god,
bring those back.
We saw Ricochet hold on to his Money in the Bank ladder match spot by defeating Robert Roode. That's good, right?
Yes, I guess. I mean, kind of. When you think about it, they just repackaged this guy and he's already took a loss. He's 50-50 now.
Yeah, he's 1-1 since becoming Robert Roode, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But I was quite scared that they were going to make Ricochet miss out on this ladder match, but I'm glad he's in there because he's gonna tear it up on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun match.
We saw the Viking Raiders. They've pinned the Raw Tag Team Champions. So, I mean, it doesn't feel like Hawkins and Wright are going to have much longer as the champs. But what were your thoughts on the Viking Raiders get the win?
It's alright. I just hurry up and get the titles on them. We already know that it's coming, so get everyone done with.
Roman Reigns beat Drew McIntyre by DQ after interference from Shane McMahon and Elias. We sort of mentioned with the wildcard rule, Roman showing up on Raw. What were your thoughts on Roman sort of getting beat down and furthering this feud with Elias and Shane?
Yeah, well, the wildcard rule doesn't apply to Elias and Shane McMahon. Yeah, that's fine. It's cool. Yeah. Oh, crazy. They can show up anywhere, man. What a shit match to have on Raw as well. Yeah. Not going to lie. Having Roman Drew WrestleMania rematch does not do anything for me.
Mercy the Buzzard is probably the biggest news coming out of...
There we go.
I stole this from WWE.com. They used the word devoured, rambling rabbit, which is kind of sad. Do you have any thoughts on the death of Rambling Rabbit?
Of course I have thoughts. I have condolences to give. I mean, this segment is my muse at the moment. I love it. We went through a Fashion Files rabbit hole. Sorry, Rambling Rabbit. And we rediscovered how great Fashion Files was. And it just made us think that these are the segments we need on Raw. They break up the action that is actually fun and engaging, and I don't know, I'm invested in this Bray Wyatt character, and those kids did not want to be at that picnic.
It was just, I don't know, this is genuinely intriguing, and you need to watch every week. That's what the TV is missing, is you needing to watch, and this is something that you need to watch. And unfortunately for WWE, we're just going to watch it on YouTube after it airs, so there's no need to tune in. So,
see, this week's highlights on YouTube, I skipped pretty much everything except for I wanted to see that fuss on Sami Zayn going to the dumpster, so I watched that. I watched Mercy the Buzzard, obviously, and I watched the Usos prank the Revival to see how bad it was. So I was literally tuned into the YouTube to see one good thing, because I didn't think it was worth my time watching Kofi versus Bryan. I mean, I heard it was a good match, cool, but I didn't think it was worth my time. I just wanted to see how bad Raw was, and Jesus, Mercy the Buzzard, you saved the day.
I mean, and even if you did watch the highlights of Kofi and Bryan, that's not watching the entire match, so you're not going to get everything. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for that. You sort of mentioned it. The Usos pranked the Revival. They used Usi Hot, I think is what.
Usi Hot, yep. Usi like hot. Icy Hot, but it's Usi.
Yeah, and then they gave him water, which they used put on their region, but that's
you're supposed to drink it.
Not
because water replaces sweat, but that wouldn't really do much. Because you're already sweating.
I was a positive after the shaving of the back of Scott Dawson last week, and credit to the Revival because they're trying to make this work and they're busting their ass out there. But man, it's I don't know, it's not really
just release him. Oh my god!
I mean, put him in AEW and let's watch him wrestle the Bucks because I don't know what's happening here, but
yeah.
The main event saw two SmackDown wrestlers fighting for the SmackDown World Championship on Raw. Kofi Kingston retains against Daniel Bryan in the main event. What are your thoughts on this?
I watched the GIFs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time watching Raw. Sorry, but I'm just not going to do it. I just can't believe how boring the show is. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I would rather watch the Authority promos every single week rather than this.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kofi and Bryan, but I didn't tune into Raw to see them. You know,
I tuned in. You tune in to watch Raw superstars.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why you watch Raw. So I don't know. It was an interesting way to go about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So moving over to SmackDown, Ali and Andrade had a match, and it ended up leading to Randy Orton interfering, hit an RKO on Ali, and then Andrade went for a springboard, and Orton hit an RKO on him. So got to make Orton look strong heading into the pay-per-view. What are your thoughts on these guys being in the ladder match?
I mean, it should be pretty good. I mean, Randy adds the veteran element, but he's definitely got no chance of winning it. He's just there as a body. I feel like Ali, Andrade, and Ricochet, they're going to tear this thing up, aren't they?
Yeah.
This is going to be pretty good, and I hope they give it adequate time and they don't make it a shit ladder match. It's just I want it to be a big car crash, and I feel like those three could really pull off something great.
I mean, the first WWE match we saw of Ricochet was in NXT and in the ladder match at New Orleans last year, and geez, he tore it up that night. So I can only imagine what Ricochet does in the ladder match. So it should be very fun.
Yeah.
We got new tag team champions. The Usos went over to Raw and challenged for the SmackDown titles, I guess, because SmackDown don't have tag teams. And to prove that, they had a match with Daniel Bryan and Rowan, who ended up winning, and they are the new SmackDown tag team champions. What are your thoughts on Bryan and Rowan as the new champs?
I wasn't sold on it initially. I just felt like, they're just trying something different. But that was until you linked me the promo after the match. And I have to say that's one of the better promos I have ever seen. Yeah. It really sold me on these two.
I think since Bryan's heel turn in November, he's been on a different level in a league of his own at the moment with his promos, and the promo he cut, like you said, if anyone hasn't seen it, it's on the WWE YouTube. Bryan's just, I don't know, doing some of probably the best work of his career, you would think, apart from like the yes movement stuff. But like this might be better than that. What would you think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's so good, and when you think about it, this is going to be one of the best tag teams ever. You think Rowan, is he a multi-time tag champion or just one-time tag champion? Regardless, he's still a tag team champion, and he's doing it with a former world heavyweight champion, a WWE champion, intercontinental champion. The list goes on. He's actually, Daniel Bryan's won every single championship.
Yeah, he has.
Didn't even realize that. I feel like this team could actually really go places, and they're on SmackDown where the tag team division is a joke. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to where they take this, because I know for your sake you love tag team matches, and I feel like you don't get a good run with that in WWE. Really. So I hope they kind of turn that around for you, because WWE's kind of ruined tag teams for me. Yeah. I don't appreciate it as much. I hope this is the start of something new, and so they're not getting rid of these belts, are they?
Bryan said that he wants to get rid of them, but we'll see how that plays out.
If they do, maybe he will have a lengthy run.
I think with this, I don't know, it's just kind of the perfect opportunity for Daniel Bryan, because when Kofi sort of got that push, like before Kofi got the push, I wasn't ready to see the end of Bryan's run as champion because of the work he was doing and how good his promos were. But once Kofi had that push, I was like, okay, Kofi has to be champion. But now this gives a chance for Bryan to still doing the same stuff and still be a champion. They're the Planet's tag team champions now, so yeah, it's awesome that Bryan can continue that run that he was having. Because sometimes guys sort of fall off if they drop the title or anything like that and can't get back to that level and keep that gimmick going. But Bryan, I have full faith in him and Rowan to sort of carry this tag division, because like you said, there's not a lot of teams in the division, and it looks like Heavy Machinery is going to be their first challengers. Stakes and Weights versus Plants and Chance. That's kind of perfect, actually. I didn't even think about that, how it's the Stakes and Weights thing. It's perfect for Bryan and Rowan to...
Yeah, Plants and Chance. But he protests.
So after this, we saw Shane was sort of in the ring, cutting a promo. He got attacked by The Miz, and And then with the help of the B team, Shane ended up beating down the Miz and laying him out with a steel chair. What did you think of the B team, like the sort of the OG Miz Taraj sort of helping out Shane in this feud?
Pretty cool, but they look too much like goobers in their B team outfits. Yeah. But I think it does make a little bit of sense. I mean, Miz treated him like shit, so why not? Why not beat him up? Who's the real heel in this fucking feud? You got the best in the world, Shane McMahon, the best announcer in the world, Greg Hamilton, and the formerly Miz Taraj, the B team, who've been mistreated by the Miz. I think the heel and babyface has been mixed around.
I sort of made note of this when I saw it. They have to change their name from the B team to something else. I think if they're going to be like this heel team that helps the Authority out,
Job Squad.
Yeah, I mean anything, because the B team doesn't really scream, and we sort of know it as a comedy thing, especially with their entrance theme. So
yeah,
they need to change that. But I like the idea of them being Shane's henchmen, so to speak. We saw Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville to beat Ember Moon and Carmella, which set up a match next week. Paige came out with Asuka and Kairi saying she said something about they're coming for Mandy and Sonya for whatever reason. So we should get that match next week unless WWE change another announced women's match. But what were your thoughts on this, Nat?
Not bad, but I think I told you yesterday it's kind of disappointing that they didn't give us the original tag team match we had planned. It's like why take away something when you've advertised it, like, and plus Carmella's sad. Like, Carmella was so happy to be teaming with Bayley again. Yeah, like we want a Baymella. Exactly. Now I don't know. They're just gone, and then I don't know. The women have taken a backseat in the last few weeks. Yeah, an absolute joke that they've done this.
I forgot to mention, but Lacey Evans called out the 4 women in the Money in the Bank match to watch her match. She beat some jobber, and then
she gave them peach letters or something.
Yeah, and then Becky and her had another brawl. And the reason I didn't put that in is just because we've seen that probably every week since they've started their feud. So,
did you see the Iconics this week?
I meant to watch that video.
Relegated to the dark segment before the show on Raw.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I still rated it.
But, I mean,
Femme Fatale.
They're 2 of the best, so it's kind of a shame that they can't get TV time when the product's this bad. In the main event, we saw Kofi retain his title in a triple threat match against Raw's AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. Any thoughts on this triple threat? No thoughts?
Sorry, my mic just cut it a little bit. Would you say for the last segment?
Yeah, the triple threat.
I watched a lot of this. I watched it on YouTube. I thought it was a damn good match. It was pretty good. I feel like this would have been a way better match to have on Raw. I feel like I don't know. It would have showcased a lot more wrestling, rather than have that shitty little tag match for Seth and AJ. I don't know. That didn't really do it for me compared to this. It was very surprising, and I liked it. And Sammy was still a bit stinky, and that's probably why he didn't win. Kofi had a pretty good SOS. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. Pretty good. I don't know. Maybe Kofi is Kofi going to hold this title for a while?
I think so. I think he beats Kevin Owens at Money in the Bank, so I'm not too sure. I don't know if Kevin Owens is the heel that beats him. I'm not too sure who it's going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. These three are the best, so definitely going to get a good match out of them. Especially, and the crowd was kind of hot for the match, so yeah, you can't really complain with that.
It's true.
So that sort of rounds up a SmackDown and Raw. So we'll get stuck into your news roundup.
Well, I've got breaking news, and it's happening. Well, it happened 2 hours ago, but I'm only just seeing it now. 5 Bullet Club members have been announced for our New Japan Southern Showdown show. That being God, Bad Luck Fale, Robbie Eagles, Tashi Ishimori, and well, they've kind of mucked up because it's also Jay White, so it's 6.
Yeah.
And I think 2 members of Chaos, which would be Okada and I don't know,
Osprey.
probably Osprey. Sorry, I'm just a bit distracted by that because I was just wondering who we actually have got. So we'll get into the news. You know what? We'll just start off with the New Japan news anyway. We've got Okada versus Jericho announced for Dominion. Woohoo, what do you think?
That was a bit of a shocker considering he's a AEW guy and that's post Double or Nothing. So, yeah, I'm not too sure what happens. I wouldn't think Jericho would win, but you never know. I mean, he won the IC belt in New Japan, so anything could happen, I suppose.
It's very true. And we also have another match announced for Dominion, and it's Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito. What do you think? That's going to be an alright match. Not a big fan of Naito, but it'll be a good match.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a good match, but yeah, good for them.
We also have Tanahashi is announced his return, and it's going to be at New Japan Pro Wrestling Best of Super Junior Finals, and it's going to actually be against Jay White. That's going to be pretty cool. We also have a new member of the Bullet Club. This has gone under the radar, but it's El Phantasmo, and he's debuted in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I saw that, and I don't really know who he is, but it's a good signing, I assume.
I've heard his name. I just don't know him at all. I wonder where he's from. Is he from... maybe he's from fucking Mexico. I don't know. I have no idea. Never heard of him, like, properly. Yeah. We'll go WWE news. We'll go Jeff Hardy has undergone successful surgery. Good for him. Can't wait for him to come back because Matt Hardy and R-Truth are probably going to team up.
I mean, did you see the segment with?
Oh, it was funny. Fucking, why did Matt Hardy square up like that?
I don't know. Did you see the photo he put on Instagram of him? It was like Smackdown
and George
2020 or something. It's him and George.
Oh, that's funny. So this week's Raw's ratings were actually slightly up, but woohoo! Congratulations! It was the second worst non-holiday period Raw, which was last week was the worst. So woohoo! We're up a little bit. So see, the wildcard worked.
Oh, it definitely worked.
If you're wondering. But also, I think the ratings will go down in NXT because you won't be able to feast your eyes on Dominik Dijakovic anymore, as he has undergone surgery to repair a torn meniscus.
Wow.
Yeah, so no more feasting your eyes on NXT because in a tweet today, Dijakovic revealed that he had surgery on Tuesday in Orlando to repair the meniscus. WWE.com later confirmed the injury, did not provide further details, and I think his last scheduled match is against Velveteen Dream in a televised one.
That kind of sucks. I was really enjoying his work on NXT.
I love him now. I love him after the Worlds Collide stuff, so it's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
That does it for WWE news because there's not much news going about. But AEW has some news in there. Over the Budget Battle Royal is now going to be called the Casino Battle Royal. What's the Casino Battle Royal, Nathan? Oh, well, I'll tell you. It's 21 entrants, which seems a bit weird, but it's casino, so it's blackjack. And it will begin with 5 wrestlers in the ring, with a new wave of 5 wrestlers entering every 3 minutes. Now, I think where people are getting confused, they think the 5 wrestlers are going to be running out at the same time. I think they're going to have an entrance and an entrance and an entrance and an entrance. People think they're literally going to run into the ring together. I'm seeing that and I'm thinking, I don't want to reply to every single tweet that says this, but let's get my thoughts out here. Go say it in a safe space.
Just link them to the podcast. A time when to listen to.
And if you're wondering, well, that only adds up to 20. The 21st entrant will enter on their own, and so this is leading to some speculation who the surprise entrant will be. People are saying CM Punk is on the pre-show you nimwit, so it's probably not going to be CM Punk. It could be a WWE guy. It could be someone like, I don't know, Ty Zillinger. I don't know, Dean Ambrose. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be CM Punk. That's the biggest name you could probably get. But AEW has yet to announce what happens to the winner when they win the Battle Royal, so I have to wait and see on that.
I've actually got some news for you.
Been announced?
The Road to Double or Nothing that came out today. I watched that before we started this, and the winner gets a few. I think the first world title shot.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And just to clear up, you're right about like how they come out in 5s, but Cody specified that everyone draws a card. And there's 4 different suits, And so each group of 5 is one suit. So the first suit might be cards and then things like that. And then whoever gets the Joker card is the 21st entrant. So
that's actually pretty cool.
there you go.
AEW has signed Angelico from Lucha Underground. Don't know much about him, but his picture was weird. He was riding a motorbike, so I thought he was like Krusty Demons.
Wait, Angelico?
I don't know. That's how it's spelled.
Yeah, he was really good in Lucha Underground.
He has a motorbike photo, so I just thought he was like Krusty Demons, like buddy Travis Pastrana type operator.
To be honest, pretty much. Like, that's kind of how I remember him from watching him.
Jesus. And probably the biggest news is AEW has announced they have a British pay-per-view broadcaster for Double or Nothing, and it's on ITV. And they also have announced that that Double or Nothing will be a pay-per-view, which is pretty fucking good news.
So how do we get it?
I don't know. I'm assuming if it's going to be pay-per-view all around the world, we'll get it on Main Event. Main Event's pretty good with that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. I haven't used Main Event for such a long time.
Man,
Probably since we watched the Mayweather fight at Stewart's. Or do we stream that?
I reckon did I stream that maybe?
We might have streamed that too.
I can't remember. But
before
honestly,
that,
wrestling wise, that's like Mania 29 or probably 30 actually. WrestleMania 30 maybe.
something like that. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Jesus.
But I think I'd be happy to pay it.
Oh yeah.
Because at least you won't get dropouts and stuff.
That's true. I'm looking forward to that.
So that's it for actual news. We'll get to a quick YouTube roundup. So we've got Up, Down, Down with Xavier Woods, episode 18 of his Smackdown Here Comes the Pain playthrough, and episode 54 of Battle of the Brands will be coming out in 3 hours. It's with Tyler Breeze on SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, and we have a special guest, which is pretty fucking good. It's a WTF moment. It's with Luke Harper. That's pretty cool. So next one we have New Being the Elite, episode 150, and it's titled Ransom Note. Hangman Page and Park going back and forth with each other. Hangman Page is looking like a schnack these days, and you get to see Britt Baker in a bikini, and she's looking fire. We got Sheamus. Sheamus hasn't been uploading actual episodes, so don't watch his shit. Samoa Joe still no vlog after 4 months. Demandy's Donuts, though, you can always count on Demandy's. And their episode 35 is at Nord's Bakery in Kentucky. And if you don't have time, well, their scores are 7 for the donuts.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers, endgame. Chelsea Green's channel, no new videos. Lana and Rusev are dead. But Elliot Sexton, or Vink, his new show, Total Flogs, episode 1 has been uploaded. Well, what do we think? We have to dissect this, don't we?
Yeah, we do. If anyone isn't subscribed to Elliot Sexton's YouTube channel, go do that. For anyone that doesn't know, he's an Australian wrestler that got signed to NXT. So he's in NXT, so you got to support him.
How tall is he, and how much work has he put in?
I sent a clip of that to you, of him saying, "I'm just kidding. I'm 6'5". I was always going to make it to WWE," and that's just great stuff. Yeah, really, really good content. I'm very much enjoying their work.
I hope people get behind this. I really want people to get behind it. I love it so much. I think it's good. But also the last piece of YouTube stuff. Please go and watch WWE's mockumentary about Greg Hamilton. Just please do yourself a favor. It's hilarious. You get to see him pick tires. He sits in every seat before every show. The dedication on this man. He says he has a good relationship with Shane McMahon, and sometimes it's a bit of a misunderstanding.
Dude, that's some of the best content I've seen. It's so amazing.
It's up there with the Elias documentary.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Like I don't know. It's made me love Greg Hamilton even more.
Exactly. So that's it for the news.
Very good job. Very thorough job that you always do, Nathan.
Thank you.
So I guess that leads us straight into this week's top 5.
Alright,
so I sort of like I said to you before we started recording, I threw this together within the last couple of minutes before we started. So not a lot of thought went into it, but
Hey, we stand an organized boy.
Exactly. So I've just gone top 5 Money in the Bank cash-ins. It's almost Money in the Bank, so we'll get there. Number 5, forget what year it was. Last year, Carmella cashing in on Charlotte. Just she's the Mella's money, so just a really.
That's exactly right.
And the main reason I have that in there, not just for Carmella, but the Iconics beat down Charlotte in their debut. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Bit of an Australian flavour to that one. Number 4, I got Dolph Ziggler cashing in at after Mania 29. That was a pretty insane pop that Ziggler got. So that's always a good cash in. The run probably not as great as everyone would have wanted it, but that's neither here nor there. Number 3, CM Punk's first cash in on Edge. Big CM Punk mark, so when he cashed in and became world champion, I was pretty happy about that. I couldn't believe he had the big gold.
Yeah.
Number 2, I've gone Edge just because it's his first one, because of just how iconic it is, and it's the first one.
Shocking.
Yeah, no one really thought about it. We didn't really know how it worked, really, the Money in the Bank. So cashing in on Cena was pretty monumental. And then number 1, I got Seth Rollins, because how could you not?
It's the best moment of all time.
You and I were watching that one, and we marked out for sure. Seeing him sprint down that ramp with the briefcase in hand, that was a pretty cool WrestleMania moment. Seeing Seth cash in,
so good.
So that does it for top 5, and we don't really have any questions this week, do we, Nat? So
I mean, Sonya the Rose said, all she's got to say is that when the fuck is Double or Nothing?
May 25, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's very specific.
I
feel like we all just hate wrestling now.
Yeah, well, no one wants to talk about it. I mean, I've got here, I don't know how to say this young man's name. Ajid Dijad, I think, as his Instagram handle. He's just, how bad is the wildcard rule? And we sort of got questions about that, but wildcard rule is, it's pretty average. We sort of got to that earlier on the show, but if you do have any questions or anything you want us to answer in future episodes, Instagram and Twitter at WrestleHunksPod, Instagram and Twitter at Nath Marlowe for Nathan, and at Evil Brady Price for myself. I just got here, Nat, before we close out. I'll give you the best tweet you'll find this week. This might be, I don't know, maybe this becomes a segment, I don't know, but I found this as we were going to record. Lance Storm, at Lance Storm, tweeted out, advice to male wrestlers with good bodies. Underwear lines make your ass look like shit. Women and gay dudes might enjoy the view, don't ruin it. Get over every way you can. Squatting in a thong can do wonders.
That's amazing.
I wasn't really expecting Lance Storm to tweet out underwear advice to pro wrestlers, but he did.
Do you reckon he's referring to anyone in particular?
I have no idea, really. Can you think? I don't know. I never really check out if there's an underwear line on any of the wrestlers. But
I don't, because I watch the wrestling. Even on the women, I don't really check the outfits out that much.
That would be wrong. We shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's the one tweet this week that everyone should go and give a retweet to, because that's quality content from Lance Storm.
Get around it.
Is there anything else, Nat, you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Nah, not really. I think we covered everything the best we can. Hopefully we still see 3 stages of hell, steel cage, ladder match next week.
Exactly. We vented our frustration, so that's good. So before we go, to make sure you rate, subscribe, and share the podcast. Find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and all other good podcast services. Like I said, we're on Twitter and Instagram at WrestleHunksPod, at Nath Marlowe, at Evil Brody Price. Until next week, stay hunky.